Bitcoin is still trading in a significant downtrend, and while this is happening, we're creating a new consolidation phase where Bitcoin exactly bounced from on the lower side of support. So in today's update video, I will be exactly discussing my price targets, the most important trend we should be looking at right now, and many more interesting things, because I will be talking about my orders I've set up on the lower side to open up $1 million Bitcoin long position. So don't get fooled, and don't forget to watch this video till the end, because I will be discussing the most important charts that are currently playing out here on the Bitcoin chart. So without any further ado, don't forget to once again slap that like button back above 1,000 likes. That will be highly appreciated. And with that being said, let me jump straight away in towards the content. So looking at Bitcoin right now, we're creating indeed that CME futures gap. And like I said many times before, I think that over the course of the weekend, Bitcoin will, of course, most likely trade somewhere around the CME futures gap. And of course, if we're trading above it, it means that, of course, we're probably going to come down at the end of the weekend. And let's say we're trading below it, it means that most likely we are going to be seeing Bitcoin retrace back towards the upside, towards that CME close price also at the end of the weekend. So currently we're trading ever so slightly above the CME close price. We're seeing a slight little pushback towards the upside. Well, yesterday Bitcoin hit $66,000. We saw a big rejection, Bitcoin moved down, and actually if we're looking at the 4-hourly time frame, we are still trading in a downward sloping trend, and potentially right now we are starting to create, of course, a higher low for the first time in this entire downtrend right here. And of course, since we're creating a higher low and consistently are also creating lower highs, it means that potentially right now we are going to be starting to look at the symmetrical triangle. Because yes, if Bitcoin is going to create higher lows and of course lower highs at the same time, it means that we're indeed creating a new consolidation phase. And yes, I think that this consolidation phase is going to be an important one to be paying attention towards. I'm expecting the big breakout is going to be happening within 48 hours from now on. So that is not necessarily very long from off this point. And if we were to be seeing a breakout towards either direction, whether it's going to be bullish or bearish, I have got a price target prepared. So make sure to watch this video till the end if you want to be knowing this price target. Because first, I want to be quickly talking about where I have set up my orders. Because yes, here on the lower side, on this orange box that you can see on the lower side, I have set up multiple orders where I want to be opening up a big long position on Bitcoin. Because I still believe that yes, Bitcoin is indeed looking like it is potentially bottoming, and potentially I'm going to be missing out on my entry here on the lower side, but I am a low risk tolerant trader, and due to that, I am only looking for the maximum opportunity. And I believe the maximum opportunity occurs once Bitcoin is seeing a 20 to 22% correction. And that is why I'm going to be starting to be positioning myself, not only based on the 20% correction, but also based off historical levels in towards the market around $60,000 all the way down to $57,000. Those are the levels where I want to be opening up my Bitcoin long position. Like you can see here, on the lower side of the screen, I have already set up these levels here in the market where I'm going to be opening up $200,000 worth of Bitcoin around $60,000, and I'm going to be entering $400,000 around $59,000. So those are my first two orders, and if Bitcoin comes down to $58,000, I'm going to enter another $400,000, and that way I'm going to be having the least amount of risk in my trade, which I believe. And yes, if I'm going to be looking at the breakdown target of this potential symmetrical triangle, I am not necessarily going to be opening up a short once we do break bearish, but what I want to be doing is open that long position once we're at that low, because just like you saw last time around, from the low to high, we bounced over 12%. And honestly, I think that if we're going to be bottoming somewhere between $60,000 and $58,000, which I think is very likely to happen, a bounce back towards new all-time highs is already a push-up of about 25%. And with my position size and 10x leverage, I'm going to be making more than an approximately $300,000 from this slight bounce towards the upside, which I believe is going to be happening if Bitcoin is going to be seeing that last move towards the downside. And anyways, I think that Bitcoin is indeed going to be reversing back towards the upside, but the bigger the correction, the longer the correction takes, the bigger the opportunity eventually is going to be, because you have to understand that we are currently sitting in a bull market, and in bull markets, you do not want to be looking at, of course, opening short positions on Bitcoin. No, you want to be looking at these long position entries once we're seeing those corrections in the market. And I believe that we're currently seeing one, and I am going to be taking maximum opportunity if we do hit the levels that I'm interested in opening up my position on. So Currently, we're still trading in the downtrend. You can clearly see it here on the 4-hourly super trend. The funding rates are still relatively high. And I mean, if history is an indication, and if we're going to be looking back at the previous bull market, every single time once the funding rates are basically resetting after it spiked significantly towards the upside, every single time it was a good buying opportunity. I pointed this out in yesterday's video. So if you want to be seeing a little bit more about that, I discussed that in approximately 5 minutes in towards the video. You can check it out, what I talked about it. But this is definitely a very big opportunity we're currently are having in the market. I mean, currently the funding rates are not negative yet, but I do believe that as Bitcoin is going to be potentially seeing that last rejection towards the downside, it could well definitely turn in towards neutral / potentially even negative funding rates, because people are most likely going to be panicking if Bitcoin breaks below this low right here. They think, oh, now we're confirming the bearish move towards the downside, but actually what we're doing if Bitcoin breaks lower a little bit from this point is take out all this long liquidity in the market right here. Boom, take out the liquidity, and then we're most likely going to be bouncing back towards the upside. That is at least what I am expecting. I think that we're going to be catching that liquidity out of the market, and if that happens, it's going to be a massive opportunity that I am personally going to be taking with both hands. And of course, I showed you exactly my strategy on how I'm going to be trading it. And of course, if Bitcoin already bounced towards the upside from this point, I am unfortunately going to be missing out on my long position. But of course, if Bitcoin potentially breaks towards the upside, we're most likely going to see Bitcoin retrace back towards $73,000, which is very close towards all-time highs. So we're creating a very important consolidation phase right now. I think that most likely we're going to have another breakdown, but of course, potentially Bitcoin is already bottomed. I'm going to be missing out on my position, and we're already going to be pushing up higher again. So you have to understand, I am not bearish right now here. I am very bullish on Bitcoin, but the only thing I want to try to do right now here is open up a long position with the least amount of risk, with the maximum amount of opportunity. So if you want to be trading yourself as well, you could do so right now on Bybit. If you right now go to the link description of today's video, you can find a link to Bybit where you can actually get a deposit bonus worth up to $30,000. And without this link, if you directly go towards the website, it's only $400. So it's a massive win-win situation. If you are interested in trading, you can trade more than 400 pairs on Bybit, which is of course by far the most amount of pairs that you can find here in the cryptocurrency market. So if you're interested in trading, go to Bybit in the link description of today's video. But let me continue on with the video, because currently on the daily time frame, Bitcoin is actually creating a hidden bullish divergence here on the daily time frame. So you can see that on the daily time frame, we've created a higher low, while in fact the RSI is creating a lower low. And like you can see here on the RSI, this historically has meant that we're creating a Bitcoin hidden bullish divergence. And a hidden bullish divergence is a typical bullish signal in the market that we're most likely heading higher. So this is what we're currently creating. And honestly, yes, we're starting to see the first signs of a potential bottom for Bitcoin, where we're creating higher lows again. But just like I said earlier in the video, we just have to be waiting for the symmetrical triangle to be breaking out, because that is basically going to be pointing out whether we're going to be breaking the bearish trend and break once again back towards the bullish side, or whether we're going to be breaking the bullish trend and of course break bearish from that point. So we have to look very closely towards what is going to be happening next, and that could help us determine what that next big move is going to be for Bitcoin, right? And if we're looking at the weekly time frame, we do know that basically history is repeating, and I'm expecting that in approximately 2 weeks from now on, we're most likely going to get blasted off again, because back in 2020, it took us only in approximately 4 weeks of consolidation around that all-time high before absolute blast off. So why wouldn't that happen this time around yet again? So I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin, and I don't really believe that we do necessarily need to be panicking right now. And in 23 days from now on, we're going to have the Bitcoin halving, which is going to be helping the scarcity effect in the market even further. And historically speaking, Bitcoin goes the most exponential after the Bitcoin halving and not before, but this time around we've already seen an exponential rally before the halving, right? So I do still believe that the most amount of gains realized will be coming after the Bitcoin halving. So any opportunity to be opening up massive long positions on Bitcoin right now would be a gift in my opinion. And that is why I'm taking this opportunity with both hands. And yes, maybe I will be indeed missing out on my entry, but that would be just unfortunate. And I just will look towards the next opportunity. So make sure to have your own strategy. I have got this strategy written down for days, for weeks. I've been waiting for this opportunity for moments. I mean, ever since this big uptrend here on Bitcoin started, I have been waiting for a correction of about 20%. And here I was also about to be entering the market, but now we're seeing the first real correction on Bitcoin. And this is going to be allowing me to be opening up a massive, massive position. And maybe it's going to take another week before I get entered, or maybe I won't get entered at all. But that is just a thing we have to be seeing. But like I said, I'm a low risk tolerant trader. So this was it for me in today's update video. If you did enjoy and if you did learn something from it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel right now. Slap up that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Goodbye.